Picture this, a man who has lived at the pinnacle of wealth and fame, who transformed the music industry and built an empire. He's seen by many as nearly untouchable, a mogul who could glide through scandals and setbacks. But now, the unimaginable has happened. As he stands in a cold, unforgiving courtroom, facing a judge, he's hit with the full weight of his reality. His $50 million bail has just been denied. With his loved one's eyes on him and his lawyer by his side, he crumbles. How did Diddy, once a giant in the entertainment world, end up here? Could anyone have seen this coming? Today, we're diving into a story that's more than a legal battle. It's the tale of an empire shaken and a man faced with his own vulnerability. This case has been a shock to fans and the industry alike. Diddy, known for his success, powerful network, and luxurious lifestyle, went to extreme lengths to avoid jail time. He offered a monumental $50 million bail package, sweetened with assets like his $48 million mansion in Miami and even his private jet. He involved his family, with his mother and close relatives co-signing the bail, showing the united front behind his freedom. Diddy even promised house arrest, nightly visitor logs, and a passport surrender to ensure his compliance. This wasn't just a legal offer. It was a desperate attempt by a man cornered, willing to give up almost everything to avoid a prison cell. Despite these dramatic efforts, the judge denied bail. This decision was influenced by the prosecution's arguments that Diddy's wealth and history made him a flight risk and a potential disruptor of justice. They raised concerns about past incidents, where he allegedly paid $50,000 to erase evidence of an altercation with his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Text messages from the time showed Diddy in a panic, pleading for help, even trying to control the narrative by erasing security footage. These actions painted a darker picture of a man who might not hesitate to use his resources to cover up his tracks. For those familiar with Diddy's history, this revelation wasn't entirely surprising. He has faced allegations before, but seemed to emerge unscathed, untouched by scandal's tarnish. This time, however, the stakes are much higher. The legal world is no stranger to cases where high-profile figures, like Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein, attempted to use their resources to avoid punishment but were ultimately denied. The court's fear of obstruction and manipulation made them unwilling to grant Diddy bail. And this moment marked the beginning of his most profound challenge. It's hard not to wonder about the weight fame carries. For many people, celebrities like Diddy embody what we might aspire to: wealth, influence, the ability to shape culture and be admired. But fame comes with costs hidden from public view. Wealth and status provide power, but they also bring incredible responsibility and, often, isolation. Those in the spotlight rarely have the luxury of making mistakes in private. In a sense, Diddy's story is not just a legal battle, it's a cautionary tale. Power can make people believe they're invincible, immune to consequence. Diddy's past speaks to this. An empire in entertainment, vast connections, and perhaps an over-reliance on influence to shield him from accountability. Many public figures who reach these heights struggle with the consequences of their actions coming to light. They live in a world that doesn't just forgive, but often expects them to fail privately. For a man who once lived in lavish mansions, traveled in private jets, and threw opulent parties, the shift to prison life is jarring. Imagine moving from a $48 million mansion to a 6-by-9-foot cell, devoid of comfort, privacy, or choice. This isn't just a lifestyle change. It's a mental and emotional reckoning. People accustomed to controlling their environment, where every need is met with a phone call or a swipe of a card, often find themselves unprepared for the rigid structure and limitations of prison. I've heard stories of individuals who faced similar falls, moving from lives of affluence to restrictions. For someone like Diddy, it's not only about the physical discomfort, but the profound psychological impact. Prison life, even without solitary confinement, is an existence defined by boundaries, rules that apply equally to all inmates, regardless of wealth or fame. This is a place where influence and money can't grant freedom. And for those who've known control all their lives, it can be devastating. Being isolated in a small cell for 23 hours a day, is grueling on anyone, but for a high-profile inmate like Diddy, it's especially harrowing. Solitary confinement, as we know from studies, can lead to severe depression, anxiety, and even psychosis. Prisoners often lose their grip on reality, experiencing a psychological collapse. For a man who was once surrounded by adoration and fans, this loneliness must be an unbearable punishment. Solitary confinement doesn't just strip people of their freedom. It takes away the basic human interaction essential for mental stability. High-profile cases have shown the brutal effects of this isolation, and Diddy's current predicament forces him into a reality entirely removed from the world he built. Throughout this ordeal, Diddy's family has stood by him. Involving loved ones in a bail package shows their deep commitment, but it also adds a strain on relationships. Having seen similar cases, the toll on families often goes unspoken. The people standing in courtrooms are not just there as spectators. They're deeply invested, emotionally tied to the outcome. For families of high-profile figures, these moments can feel like betrayals of trust, as their loyalty is tested publicly. Many times, family members become collateral damage, bearing the burden of public scrutiny. It's a reminder of the sacrifices that come with fame. The family doesn't just share in the glory, but also in the hardships. The justice system and society have long held a fascination with the downfall of those in power. It's a strange phenomenon, how we watch these public figures rise and then become spectators to their descent. Why does society react so strongly when a celebrity falls? Perhaps it's because we see them as representations of ideals we chase, and their failures remind us of human vulnerability. Cases like Diddy's reflect more than just one man's mistakes. They're windows into the larger theme of justice and accountability. For every high-profile case, there's a part of society that questions whether justice can be fair, whether wealth truly buys freedom. We've seen this debate play out time and again. Harvey Weinstein's conviction, Jeffrey Epstein's flight risk, and now Diddy's bail denial. These cases remind us that fame and power may be shields, but not invincible ones. Diddy's empire is now tainted by scandal. In an industry where image is everything, rebuilding a brand after such a fall is challenging, if not impossible. The entertainment world is quick to judge and often unforgiving, especially in cases involving abuse of power or trust. Even if he finds a way back to the public stage, Diddy's legacy will carry the stain of these allegations. But people love redemption stories. If Diddy can somehow emerge from this, it will take significant humility, acknowledgement of past actions, and a long path of reconciliation. Fame, once tarnished, is hard to polish, but history has shown us that the public can be surprisingly forgiving. Time will tell if Diddy's story ends here, or if he finds a way to redefine himself. Diddy's case holds lessons for both the famous and the everyday individual. Power and privilege can provide protection, but they cannot erase responsibility. Fame can be fleeting, and the higher one rises, the harder the fall can be. It's a reminder that every action, every decision, leaves a mark. For anyone watching, this story is a cautionary tale about accountability, the cost of power, and the weight of reputation. It's a reminder that no one is untouchable, and the legal system, despite its flaws, can hold even the most powerful accountable. What are your thoughts on Diddy's case? Do you think he'll find a way back, or has this marked the end of his empire? Share your opinions in the comments below. Do you believe justice is truly fair in cases involving high-profile figures, or does wealth influence the outcome? We'd love to hear your insights.